you want to add a little bit of artistry to the chords you strum, whether you play acoustic or electric, I'm going to help you with that today. I consider myself to be a rhythm guitar player, and I love to strum chords for worship leading as well as performing songs that I've either written or that I like to cover. And once in a while, I like to take a chord and add a little bit more color or a little more texture to it. Today, I'm going to show you 3 open chords that can be enhanced through what I call double hammer-ons. I was encouraged to put this video together by one of the members of Guitar Success For You, who just asked me if I had something I could share along these lines. And that's why I've made this video. You're going to want to watch all the way through though, because it's not just hammer-ons I'm going to show you. There's a flip side to this artistry that will take your chords even further. So grab your guitar and let's get into it. Okay, when we use a hammer to hammer in a nail, it's an action of hitting that nail. A hammer-on is an essential and artistic articulation that comes alive in guitar playing. Basically what we do is we strike a string with our picking hand, and then we hammer the string with our fretting hand. And a hammer-on basically takes place when you have a single articulation this way, and then it's finished by the other hand. This is not a hammer-on. And it's also not as interesting. I love this idea of economy of movement that is also artistic. You can spot a hammer-on in music, whether it's notation or tablature, because the notes go up and so do the numbers. If you're looking at the treble clef, you'll see 2 notes or more, but they move up and they're connected by what's called a slur. If you're looking in tablature, you'll see a lower number followed by a higher number, and those again will be connected by an arc. That's how you can spot a hammer-on. Okay, now I'm going to show you the 3 chords that we're going to enhance today. There are 3 aspects that these 3 chords have in common. First, they are all open chords. Second, they are all anchored by 1 or 2 fingers already on the neck. And third, they involve a double hammer-on internally in the middle strings. Let's discover these 3 chords. Okay, for this first chord, we're going to use 3 fingers, but we're going to anchor the chord with the index finger on the 1st fret of the 2nd string. And then we'll hammer the other 2 fingers into place, like this. Okay, there's a double hammer-on happening right here. Get used to that, and then we'll move on to the next chord. You may have encountered this E minor 7 shape. In case you haven't, I highly recommend it. I like to anchor fingers 3 and 4 on the 3rd fret of strings 2 and 1. And then I'll hammer fingers 1 and 2 like this. There's strength in numbers with these double hammers because these 2 fingers can work together to make that sound. So that's the E minor 7 with the double hammer-on. Lastly, we have the C over G. Now, I like to start with a G major chord like this. People play it in a lot of different ways, but if you can play it like this, you'll be able to do this double hammer. We have our 3rd finger on the 3rd fret of the 6th string and our 4th finger on the 3rd fret of the 1st string. And then we bring our index and our middle down on the 2nd and 4th strings like this. I have a wedding band and sometimes it makes a little noise against the guitar neck. So that's the C over G. This is a side note, but it's pretty important because we play in a lot of different keys. If you know a bit about the circle of fifths, you know that the keys of C, A minor, and E minor are all very closely related, which means if we want to play in any of those keys, we can access the 3 chords that I've talked about today. I want to take each of these three chords and briefly show you what they sound like in context with other chords, in chord progressions. So I'll start with the A minor with the double hammer. Then here is the E minor 7. And lastly, the C over G. Now, I'm going to show you the hidden secret that is the opposite of the hammer-on, and I'm going to apply it to these three chords, and I think you're going to like it. But before I do that, I do encourage you to like, subscribe, and ring the bell. Thank you for helping us build our channel. We really appreciate your willingness to watch and to comment and to share your thoughts. On that subject, if you can think of a guitar chord that involves a double hammer that I have not addressed in this video, please list it in the comments. Okay, toward the beginning of this video, I talked about how a hammer can be used to hammer in a nail. What if we want to go the opposite way? We can pull the nail out, right? Same thing is true of hammer-ons and pull-offs. Just as we can hammer on, we can pull off. And if you want to know what this looks like in music notation or tablature, it's literally the opposite. All we're doing is going from a higher note to a lower note with a slur, or we're going from a higher number to a lower number with a slur. So in tablature, we're going to have a 2 that pulls to an O or a 0. That shows us that we are articulating a pull-off. And as you can imagine, this can apply to our chords today. Here's A minor with hammers and pulls. Here's E minor 7 with hammers and pulls. And then the C over G, hammers and pulls. If you're still watching, you might actually appreciate this additional permutation of hammer-ons and pull-offs. It's kind of called a hammer pull. Basically, you do a hammer-on, and then you do a pull-off without articulating the string again, like this. And you could do that with a chord too. Right? If you're relatively new to hammer-ons and pull-offs, especially if you play the acoustic guitar, which takes a little bit more hand strength, especially in the fretting hand, I recommend getting one of these. It's called the OmniGrip. I linked to it in the description, but it has helped me tremendously, not just with my hammer-ons and pull-offs, but with bar chords as well. Plus, I can take this with me to places where I can't practically bring my guitar. I also have a video that features this and 2 other hand strengtheners, which you can find right here. But there's something wise about continuing to enhance and develop your strength while always being cautious and knowing your limitations. So those are 3 open chords that have an anchor note and internal double hammers. The A minor, the E minor 7, and the C over G. I hope these 3 chords have added a little bit of artistry to your playing, and I'd love to know. Please leave a comment. Also, if you want to take your chords and add more artistry to your strumming, I encourage you to check out our rapidly becoming world-famous strumming workout. It's right here. I can't tell you how impactful it has been on the lives of guitar players who strum. Please check it out. Thanks for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one.